content of this video is all about the summary of classical Marxism, Althusserianism, hegemony, and other cultural studies. Marxism is a method of socio-economic analysis that uses a materialist interpretation of historical development, better known as historical materialism. Marxism was originated by the German philosopher and economist Karl Marx. Karl Marx is the father of Marxism. He is an activist rather than a philosopher, whose works inspired the foundation of many communist regimes in the 20th century. According to him, the history of all previous societies has been the history of class struggle. Marxism is a difficult and contentious body of work, but it is also more than this. Marxism is a body of revolutionary theory with the purpose of changing the world. This time, I will discuss about the classical Marxism. First, let's define first what is classical Marxism. So it refers to the economic, philosophical, and sociological theories expounded by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, as contrasted with later development in Marxism. Marx argues that each significant period in history is constructed around a particular mode of production. In general terms, each mode of production produces specific ways of attaining the necessaries of life, a specific social relationship between workers and those who control the mode of production, and specific social institutions, including the cultural ones. As Marx explains, the mode of production of material life conditions the social, political, and intellectual life process in general. This claim is based on certain assumptions about the relationship between the base and superstructure. The base consists of combination of the forces of production and the relations of production. The forces of production refer to the raw materials, the tools, the technology, the workers, and their skills, etc. The relations of production refer to the class relations of those engaged in production. Each mode of production, besides being different, say in terms of its basis in agrarian or industrial production, is also different in that it produces particular relations of productions, just like the slave mode produces master or slave relations, the feudal mode produces lord or peasant relations, and the capitalist mode produces proletariat relations. Next is the superstructure. Superstructure consists of institutions, political, legal, educational, cultural, etc., and definite forms of social consciousness, like political, religious, ethical, philosophical, aesthetic, cultural, and etc., generated by these institutions. Marx and Engels claim that the ideas of the ruling class are in every epoch the ruling ideas, like the class which is the ruling material force in society, as at the same time it's the ruling intellectual force. What they mean by this is that the dominant class, on the basis of its ownership of and control over the means of material production, is virtually guaranteed to have control over the means of intellectual production. That's all for my summary of the classical Marxism. So the next reporter is Miss Jelma Ellorico for the Althusserianism.
Morning everyone, I am Jelma Ellorico from Detail Ed 2 Home Economics. This morning, I am going to tackle all about the Althusserianism. Althusserianism is an idea of Louis Althusser, which have an enormous influence on cultural theory and popular culture. Althusser's most significant contribution to the field is his different attempts to theorize the concepts of ideology. According to Althusser's 1969 A social formation consists of three practices: the economic, political, and the ideological. This operates through what he calls the structure of dominance. That is, although the economic is always ultimate determinant, this does not mean that a particular historical conjuncture it will necessarily be dominant. Althusser's produced three definitions of ideology, two of which have proved particularly fruitful to the student of popular culture. Therefore, as economic, the historical specific mode of production performs certain raw materials into product by determining means of production. So, ideological practice shapes an individual lived relation to the social formations. Only scientific discourse, Althusser's Marxism, can see through ideology to the real conditions of existence, because ideology is for Althusser's a closed system. It can only ever itself such problems as it can answers. For more information about Althusserianism, kindly visit at http://uniteyouthdubling.files.wordpress.com.
Good morning, classmates. I'm going to discuss about hegemony. Hegemony is the political, economic, or military predominance or control of one state over others. In ancient Greece, hegemony denoted the politico-military dominance of a city-state over other city-states. The dominant state is known as the hegemon. Hegemony is the dominance or the leadership of one social group or nation over others, just like the way USA dominates over other nations. Hegemony derives from the Greek term hegemonia, or dominance over, which was used to describe relations between city-states. Its use in a political analysis was somewhat limited until its intensive discussion by the Italian politicians and Marxist philosopher Antonio Gramsci. Gramsci's discussion of hegemony followed from his attempts to understand the survival of the capitalist states in the most advanced Western countries. In the sense, the concept is used to suggest a society in which, despite oppressions and exploitations, there is a high degree of consensus.
Everyone, I'm Judyliza Robillos, BTL2 Home Economics. This is the continuation of hegemony. Gramsci identifies as one of an elite of men of culture. He speaks of organic intellectuals as individuals. Hegemony theory allows us to make of popular cultures as a negotiated mix of what is made both from above and from below, both commercial and authentic, of shifting balance of forces between the resistance and incorporations. The concept of hegemony allows students of popular culture to free themselves from the sibling analysis of many of the previous approaches to the subject. Youth subcultures are the most spectacular. Example of this process is Dick Hilditch, 1979, offers a clear and convincing explanation of this process, bricolage, by which youth subcultures appropriate for their own purposes and meaning the commodities commercially provided.
Everyone, I am Leah Robillos from BTL2 Home Economics. Today, I will discuss about post-Marxism. Angela McRobbie is a British sociologist, cultural theorist, feminist, known for popular culture, contemporary media, and feminism. So why I included Angela McRobbie in post-Marxism? Because Angela McRobbie is the one who elaborated post-Marxism as the means or as the essential in studying popular culture. According to Ernesto Laclau and Chantal Mouffe, 2001, is to leave behind Marxism for something better. The concept of discourse is central to the development of post-Marxism. Discourse, according to Laclau and Mouffe, consists in the totality of the linguistic. So meaning of it, post-Marxism is to leave behind Marxism for the wanting that much better world. To become post-Marxism, you should seek the origin. Therefore, cultural studies is a post-Marxism and positive sense of advocate by Laclau and Mouffe. That's all for today. Thank you and God bless.